camera are a couple of the cheerleaders for Sheboygan South. Walking by us is the coaching staff. Chris, we're about 3 minutes away from starting this second ball game. North comes in 1 game behind in the conference race, South a little further down in the conference standings. It would seem to be a more important game for North than South.
Well, no kidding. They want to stay pace with Notre Dame. Last night at home, Sheboygan South kind of got their legs back on a nice victory against Preble. Played very well. Something they needed. They lost a little confidence. They lost to Preble. Had some tough times earlier in December, but a nice win for them yesterday coming into tonight's game.
South also coming off a win last night, and that certainly has to help them in their quest for a victory tonight.
Well, no question. Tonight we'll see what happens too with North. They got to stay out of foul trouble. There's no question staying out of foul trouble is one of the keys to the ball games tonight for North. When Kyle Tetchlaw gets in foul trouble, Peter Worth getting in foul trouble, it seems like North's going to struggle to score. For South all year, it seems like they've been looking for a variety of people to score. Andy Shane, we need to see him if he can go off. Tim Stubbe, we saw some games this year. He was kind of lost out there. And of course, we always like BJ Harry. I hope they feed him the ball.
Well, one of the things that I think would really help South is BJ Harry underneath, possibly give some defensive presence when Tetchlaw posts up.
No question. We like the way he springs and like the way he dunks. And I like the way that BJ's really improved this year. And him, that's a good matchup for us tonight. Kyle Tetchlaw against BJ Harry, those big long arms of BJ's and the quick post movements of Kyle Tetchlaw using his speed.
One of the things that makes this game very similar in the girls' game is it's incumbent upon South to be able to handle the pressure, just like it was for the South girls to handle the pressure by the North Lady Raiders.
Well, there's no question. Same situations right here. Can South handle the pressure and break the press of North? If they do that, it'll be a lot easier for South. Also, like I said before, foul trouble. If they're going to call it real tight, then it's going to be difficult for North to use that press.
One of the things that I think is not a benefit for North is their free throw shooting. They've struggled with that at least through the games that I've seen them, and if this is a close game, that could hurt them.
Yeah, last night they did an outstanding job. They got to the free throw line, I believe, 38 times, hit like 26 of them. So they did that.
That means they missed 12, though.
Yeah, but if they're going to get to the free throw line, they got to put them in. So you want to keep attacking the basket. When North really excels, I think, with their offense, is when they get to the basket. When they stand around on the perimeter, that's when you sometimes are suspect. But last night, they got to the basket, got free throws, and that was big for them.
There's the buzzer. We're going to step out. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the tip-off for tonight's ball game.
Americans are rolling up their sleeves to help each other.
Showing true strength of character and kindness and compassion.
Spirit and enthusiasm. Together, we make America strong.
Find out how you can serve, no matter where you are in life, at nationalservice.org.
It's your world.
It's your chance to make it better.
Apply online at nationalservice.org and answer the President's call to service.
Bachelor number 1, how would you advise me to structure my investment portfolio?
I would say be cautious and invest in government bonds, money markets, and CD accounts.
Bachelor number 2?
I'd say it's your age to invest fully in high-yield stock.
And bachelor number 3?
I'd diversify your investments. It would make your overall portfolio more balanced and can minimize your risk. Okay, there you go. It was time for you to make a date.
Bachelor number 3.
Bachelor number 3.
Remember, make a date today to diversify your portfolio and choose to save.
Thank you. And now our national anthem is sung by Viva and Saya.
Bye.
two young ladies that sang the national anthem for you were Leela and Saya Yang, and a great job by those two kids. Boy, that was outstanding. Let's go through the starting lineup for Sheboygan South. Starting at a guard spot will be number 3, Tim Stubbe. He's a 5'8" senior. Also starting for the Red Wings is number 5, Eric Donovan. He's a 5'10" senior. There you see him coming out. Starting at another guard is number 11, Matt Hemsing. He's a 5'8" junior. Starting at a forward spot, number 25, Will Hartman. He's a 5'10" senior. Of course, you know Will from football, as you do Stubbe and Donovan. And then rounding out the starting lineup is 6'7" senior B.J. Harry. For the Golden Raiders, starting at a guard spot will be number 21, Trevor Gruby. He's a 5'11" senior. Number 25, their point guard, is 6'3" senior Peter Worth. Starting at a forward spot, number 35 is 6'2" senior Brian Herman. There you see Herman coming out. Number 41, Nate Pitch, is a 6-foot senior. And rounding out the lineup for the Golden Raiders is number 51, Kyle Tetchlog. He's a 6'5" senior. North starting all seniors tonight. And there we go. Game stats for North. I don't know that we got anything from Dan regarding scoring. Our officials tonight for this ball game are Brian Bergert and Jim Quayoff. Those two gentlemen are from Green Bay, pardon me. There you see Coach Tom Desatel. There you see Coach Tom Desatel. Come on, Kerry. Be an interesting matchup. I think Harry might have the advantage. He's got height and good jumping ability. He controls the tap. Stubbe being guarded by Trevor Gruby. Hemsing has it on the wing, being guarded by Pitch. Herman guarding Hartman, pardon me. South doesn't look like they're in a hurry to shoot, Chris. Donovan has it now. Every South player has touched the ball. And Stubbe nails a long three-pointer.
Good start for him. Interesting, Andy Shane not starting. Or Danny Teller.
Ball's knocked away. Worth being guarded by Donovan. That'll be a good matchup.
Brand new uniforms for South tonight.
Stubbe hounding Gruby.
I always thought South was red and white.
Yeah, really. Inside feed to Tetchlog goes off of his hands. And coming in for Gruby is Cody Schaefer. We talked about Susie Runis liking to make a lot of substitutions. Tom Desatel will do the same thing. Ball is tipped away. Herman intercepts. Ball is knocked away by Harry. He almost had it. BJ was out for a couple games earlier. He had an injury. False alarm, huh, Chris? Took off the headset for a big sneeze and it never happened.
Well, there's the band trying to get their things out of here, and
yeah, it gets a little chilly.
And they forget that there's players out here that cramps and different things can take place with that cold air.
Pitch has it. South on top, 3-0. We're early in the game. Stubbe with a steal. No, Schaefer came in for Gruby. Now Gruby's right back in the ball game. Tetchlog tapped it out of bounds. South trying to get it into their big man, B.J. Harry. I've been right down by the corner. You see Trevor Tagle and
Todd Tudis.
South players all wearing the red and white shoes, though.
Yeah.
Where Coach Desatel will basically only allows white.
Emsing wanted to take the shot, but pitch had a good recovery to prevent that. Worth guarding Donovan. Hartman has it on top. South really slowing it down. Stubbe tried to get the shot off the screen, but Trevor Gruby recovered on that shot, prevented it. We're down under 5:30. It's 3-0. Stubbe pull up 18-footers off, no good. Going high for the rebound, but not getting it was Herman. Donovan's shot is blocked out of bounds. Little housekeeping done by the official. I think he's going to take that home and sell it on eBay. Kick out to Donovan. Good defense by Worth.
Probably the game that South wants. Pass and move, screen.
Stubbe right down Main Street. Tried to get the shot off, but he's fouled. Let's see if they give him 2 shots. Foul goes on Tetchlog, and you brought up a good point in the opening, Chris, that North needs to stay out of foul trouble. One thing that North doesn't have is a lot of depth, and certainly not at the center spot.
Interesting also there, Marty, they are going to give him the shots here. He just kind of backwards to the ball, didn't even try to shoot. And as a result, bonus for South, 4-0 lead.
And one more free throw to come. Dan Koopman yelling out instructions. South with a great start.
This is just his second possession for North, and we're 3.
Petchlog going hard to the basket is fouled by Harry. He's going to need a little bit of help.
Yeah, and that's the quickness of Kyle we talked about. With the big, lanky, long.
They can close that garage door anytime.
Well,
it's starting to get cold in here.
You know, I know there's a lot of extra things, but the bottom line, it's a basketball game.
Petchlog ruled in the act of shooting. He'll get a pair.
It's a lot of groups of people that think, you know, the band has got to get their stuff and dance teams and cheerleading, but bottom line, it's a basketball game, and that's what comes first.
We had a good shot at Tetchlog before. I was just going to mention back when he was over at Lincoln Erdman in 5th grade. Did you see those arms? Could have used them for dental floss back then. A little more meat on the bones now.
For those of you who don't know, there is the garage. You can maybe see it in the upper right-hand corner there. They are leaving it open, and a lot of air, drafty air is coming in there. Like I said, I hope it doesn't affect the players.
Hartman on the wing out to Donovan. North in the man-to-man.
Very good athlete. Eric Donovan.
Stubbe has it on top. A real nice interview with Dan Stengel between games, Chris. Had a lot of interesting things to say about the building project and the new football coach that they'll be hiring. Ball is tipped away and out of bounds. South will keep it. Doesn't sound like Sheboygan's too enthused about the realignment. At least Dan wasn't. 32nd timeout by South. It's 5-2. South on top, and this is the kind of start they needed, Chris, and they actually got North playing their game so far.
No question, 4 minutes. North basically doesn't even have a shot attempt. Of course, Kyle got those 2 free throws, but 2 shot attempts for South and none for North, and tempo for South. There you see a picture of the draft that's coming in here, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of cool
There's one
air.
thing if they're hauling a lot of stuff out, you know, the door's open, but it's just open and nobody goes around there. Well, if they got a picture of us on the up here on the stage, pretty soon Pete Barth, you and me will all have our coats on. Stubbe will trigger the inbounds play. Inside feed to Hartman. His shot is blocked. Worth has it. Petschlag going down the lane. Got it. And it's going to count. He was fouled by Eric Donoval. First team foul on Eric Donoval. And Koopman requesting a charge call, doesn't get it. That ties up the ball game at 5 apiece. Hemsing being guarded by Pitch.
He's all by himself. Almost a pick by Worth. Uh-oh, South playing a little faster now.
Yeah, leap and leaner by Donoval is no good. Actually, I thought they could have kicked it inside to B.J. Harry. Hartman, no good. I think they're going to get him for, no, they're going to get him for a foul. I thought for a second they were going to call him for traveling. And Petschlag picks up his second foul. Getting ready to check in is Rob Kane.
Got to keep your hands out of there. They closed the door behind. Got to keep your hands away from reaching like that. And
well, Jim Larish not only is taking care of the stage clock, he's also taking care of the garage door. B.J. Harry with the basket. Can't put your head down for a second, Chris. You never know what you're going to miss. Good help defense by South to keep Worth from driving it in. Worth is hacked on the arm. Hartman got him big time. Will Hartman. It's 7-5, South on top.
Worth coming in at 14.5 points a game.
What's his free throw percentage?
50%.
Just went under.
Peter struggled with that, and I know he spends a lot of time in the gym working on it.
And I've seen him at times. He looks really good from the line, and other times he looks like he's really lost. Not a good trip that time. South handling the North pressure that time with ease. Stubbe has it on top. Hemsing on a curl move, fake, and then the shot is blocked by Pitch. All the North fans are yelling and whooping it up, but I'll tell you, get a block attempt like that, you ought to maybe tip it to one of your teammates instead of kicking it in the third row. You know who's really great at that? Keeping the ball in play? Bill Russell.
Maybe one of the greatest defensive players to ever live.
Oh yeah, Danny Teller in the game for South.
Danny's had some good games. We've seen him.
I was just going to say, he's had his moments this year. Hartman on a leaper, can't get it in. Harry touched it last, and it went off of him. North will get it. South on top, 7-5. We're at 2:28 remaining. Rob Kane with a reverse layup.
Well, South was just, didn't know what was happening there. They had their backs turned, and the ball was in bounds, and before they know it, North was up the floor, and
Nate Pitch committed that foul. Coming in for the Golden Raiders is Peter Prigge.
Peter doesn't get a lot of time.
I was just thinking that, not necessarily that, but not many juniors see much playing time for North. Hemsing was stuck a little bit. Jump shot by Teller. The old left-hander nails one from outside. Two-pointer. 9-7 South on top. We're right at the 2-minute mark. Kane looking to go baseline and travels. Hemsing being double teamed at the free throw line there, you see it. Ruby got away with a slap. Hartman wants a timeout, but I think they're going to get Rob Kane on a foul over the back first.
You know, you don't see that call much, Marty, but that's a good call. I mean, you can't just jump on a guy and grab the ball, and that was the right call. Sometimes officials won't call it because, oh, that's good hustle, but I mean, he was on his back.
Got to be smart with your good hustle. Teller way outside the line was looking at the hoop. BJ Harry with a turnaround jumper. No one's going to block that shot, but it rolls off no good. Worth looking to go down the lane. Good help defense by Hemsing. We're under 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. South on top, 9-7.
Stubbe with a hand on Gruby's back.
Craigie looking to go inside. Turn jumper is no good. Worth with the rebound, but he had it slapped out of his hands. Andy Shane, number 15 for South, and Cody Schaefer, number 3 for North, check into the ball game. And Eric Donovan comes in for Will Hartman. North working the perimeter. Quick feed inside to a cutting Kane is a little bit wide. Herman's pass goes out of bounds. And nobody came back to help Stubbe. But Donovan knew where to look. He's used to catching those passes.
That's right, I was just gonna say, he'll just wing it out there like in the fall.
45 seconds remaining.
South gonna slow it down again. They started to speed it up a little bit. Let's see if they, whoops.
Well, misread on the cut. Donovan probably should have done the back cut because it was there. Hemsing coming in. Stubbe will get a blow for the last 40 seconds. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle sees very little playing time the rest of this half.
I would think that he will not unless they fall way behind.
South will have to make hay while he's on the bench.
I don't mind doing that when you're closer ahead, but when you're way behind, you got to get your guys back in because otherwise the game's away. Kind of what happened at Notre Dame.
Shane and Prigge are muscling up on each other just like they did in the fall. It's always nice to renew old friendships. Worth hard to the basket. Got it. And he's fouled. Foul is going to go on Danny Teller. Peter Worth has a chance to give North the lead. Right now it's tied at 9 up. It's kind of redundant. Tied at 9. Sounds better. Brian Berger going to give the ball to Worth. Brian's been here a few times. They didn't have to tell him about the lines.
No.
Although I thought you were out in the hall somewhere trying to find the officials to let them know. You're a little late for the opening, Chris.
Well, bathroom line, soda line.
Oh yeah, by the way, thanks for the soda. 5, 4, 3. Donovan hard to the basket. He's going to get fouled. Worth is going to pick up the foul with 1 second remaining. That was a good move by Eric. You know, he faked that little pass out to the wing and then took it right to the hoop.
Why not? Draw some fouls, shots here, give yourself a lead.
Well, North has 5 personal fouls in the first quarter. Donovan will be shooting a pair. Chance to give his team the lead. I don't know, Chris. I don't know if I like these non-traditional uniforms. I mean, if my colors were black and white, I suppose it wouldn't be bad. Well, Gruby was sitting on the table here waiting to check in, but Worth missed the free throw, and he never did get in until his foul was committed. Donovan makes a pair, and that'll end the quarter. South with a strong first quarter leads it 11-9.
Come on, David. Come on, David. Let's go, David. Come on.
Come on, David. You got the love.
Get as involved in your kids' education as in everything they do, and imagine the success they might find. Stay in touch with the teacher. Visit the school. For more tips, call 1-800-281-1313.
Good, David. Good, David.
Hung up about a consumer problem? Like that refrigerator you just bought that's freezing you out. Oh, and telemarketers who won't stop calling.
Have I got a deal for you?
Well, stand up for your rights. Use the power of the internet and the federal government at pueblo.gsa.gov, the free consumer action website. Thousands of links to companies and government agencies with names, numbers, and advice to get your wrongs righted. Remember Pueblo, because you never know.
4 different players scored for South in that first quarter. Tim Stubbe opened up the scoring with a three-pointer and then hit a couple of free throws. He leads all scorers with 5 along with Kyle Tetchlog. Tetchlog not starting the second quarter. He has 2 fouls.
North just had 4 shot attempts, 4 turnovers. South only had 2, so definitely quarter 1 for South. You liked what they did with their pace. They got Kyle Tetchlog in foul trouble, controlled their turnovers. Definitely a good quarter for South, and that's why they lead by 2.
Peter Prigge in the post against B.J. Harry. That's a mismatch for South. Pitch going hard. He pushes a South defender down and gets called for the offensive foul. Good call.
Pretty obvious call there for an official. The arm up.
Well, we had a great shot at it. There you see that double team at the free throw line that I talked about earlier. And Will Hartman is at half court, ready to relieve pressure if need be.
Well, Pitch has 2 fouls now too. We'll see how long he lasts out there.
Longer than Tetchlog.
Couldn't ask for a better start for South. I mean, my gosh, what do you want to do? Well, we want to lead after the quarter, get Kyle Tetchlog in foul trouble, and
good
not turn over the ball.
Yeah, Hartman, good leaping ability. Donovan going hard to the basket, off the glass and in.
Good vertical for Donovan.
Donovan and Hartman can really get up there. North working the perimeter, setting up the offense. South in a man-to-man defense. And I've seen that at least once every game where Pitch shuffles his feet prior to taking it to the hoop. Rob Kane checking in.
I'm going to make it the best of my ability to see those guys run track this spring too. Hartman and
well,
Donovan.
Hartman and Donovan went to state last year in track.
Oh, I like to see that relay.
Oh, nice steal by Herman. (13-9) South on top.
North with not 1 3-point attempt. Not a 1. Not a lot of driving to the basket. Kickouts, that's what you're going to need. Worth is going to be the guy that's going to have to take it to the rack. No movement.
Inside feed to Kane. Herman cutting to the basket. His shot is up and in. Almost had it blocked by Harry.
Good athletic move there by Hermy. And another turnover.
That's what'll happen against the North press. You got to be patient. Kane looking to go to the hoop. And he gets called for an offensive foul. That one I didn't see, Chris. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I just didn't see it. Kane has 2 fouls.
Coach Testel like a timeout.
And
questioning the...
Coach doesn't tell you don't see him quite as animated as he was at the beginning of that timeout.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what's going on here with the offensive fouls. Now, pitch we saw, we know he did it, but we didn't catch the last one there by Kane.
I think he went like this. North has Kane, pitch, Tetschlag, all with 2 fouls. Worth has 1, so South is in the bonus already. We're at 6:14 remaining until halftime. It's 13-11. South turned it over on the press, actually gained by North's possession, having Kane commit the foul.
And North's going to have to have other people step up, and Peter Prigge is one of the guys who are going to have to do that.
Stubbe, long lead feed to Donovan. He pulls up with a 10-footer, can't get it in. Hartman with a strong rebound, he can't get it in either. Herman with the rebound. Well, you get those opportunities, you got to capitalize. South not capitalizing that time. North is too good a team. Can't let them off the hook.
Oh, they had a nice job breaking the press there too.
5-second call. Kane a little bit slow getting rid of the ball, and Hemsing was right on him. This is 2 times now South has dodged a bullet with a North possession.
You know, another thing we didn't talk about, well, let's see what happens here, Marty. I was going to say, South was here just a week ago. They played Plymouth here, so they've played here already once.
A little experience in the Armory never hurt. Donovan hustling for the ball. Good job by South. Keep possession. Stubbe almost lost it. Hartman from outside, no good. I don't think that's a good shot attempt by Will. He's not much of an outside shooter. Donovan gets called for the bump in the back. For Donovan, that's his second personal. Timeout by South. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, Scott, so we better keep it here.
Again, I don't know if, I think you're right, Marty. I don't know if Coach Koopman wanted the pace that quick and Hartman to shooting them so quickly like that.
We're at 5:16 remaining. You can't quite see Kerry Kautzer hiding behind the, stick your head out, Kerry, come on. Kerry Kautzer out from the truck. Scott Mieloff is our director for this game. Brian Andrews getting a little bit of a blow. Andy McKillop not taking any time off. He's a gamer.
Oh, he's stuck up there.
Brian Andrews back with the nachos and cheese dip. I'm on a diet, Brian. That'd be a trying to lose weight diet. Worth has it. South is on top, 13-11. South has played a good ball game up to this point. Herman being guarded by Teller. Worth, no good. Worth with the rebound, and then Harry's going to get called for the foul on Peter Worth. For BJ Harry, that's his second personal. Oh, interesting set of circumstances. Getting ready to check in for the Red Wings will be Andy Lancer. Lancer's a 6'4" sophomore. That's one thing that South has, a little better height coming off the bench. That pass is going to go not out of bounds, and it's not a backcourt violation because it was a toss-in. Stubbe covering up on Gruby. Gruby's shot is no good, but Herman had it tipped away by Teller. And then Herman on a reach-in.
Probably a little frustration there by Brian. He thought he got butchered and did the same thing, but this time they caught him, and because of that, South's going to be in bonus free throw situation. Both teams in it right now, Marty.
You're right. So, North actually has 6, but their next one will send South to the line. Coming in for North is Ben Trilling.
Now, I know a lot of these guys have not got a lot of minutes this year, and
almost none.
Right, and basically, you know, they do play some reserve games, but here you got a big ball game, and now you're in the Army for the first time, you know, as a varsity player, and now they're expected to perform, so we'll see how they do.
Hemsing missed that free throw attempt. South remains in the lead at 13-11. We're at 4:15 until halftime. A very slow-paced game. Worth dishes it off to Trilling. His shot is no good, but he's fouled. I think they're going to get Danny Teller for that foul. They are.
Ben Trilling has attempted no shots.
No shots from the free throw line.
No shots from the field. So it's first varsity.
Does this make him a 100% free throw shooter?
When he hits these?
Guess not, huh? Not yet, anyway. Herman comes back in, and Kane checking out.
Coach Tessatel trying to survive the
first half.
The rush here.
Trilling misses a pair. Andy Shane with the rebound.
You know, he can shoot it.
Oh, Worth with a reach in. Got away with it. And North forcing South way out on the court. And Worth is going to get called for the foul.
Foul's mounting for the Northsiders.
Peter Worth has 2 fouls. Will Hartman will be at the line. South has had pretty good success. They've made 4 out of 5. Joey Fritsch checks in for North.
Joey was hurt earlier in the year.
Next foul sends South in the super bonus. Hartman comes through with a make. It's 14-11. (15-11). Fritsch has it. Over to Trilling. Ruby with a look from outside and got it in.
First 3-point look.
They've been on him pretty tight most of the half. That's the only good look he's had.
Yeah, it's the only 3-point attempt that North has even taken.
Stubbe had a back cut but couldn't get the shot off. Andy Shane going in the lane, and we're going to get a jump ball called as Joey Fritsch ties him up. But the arrow points South's way, so they'll keep it. It's 15-14. Red Wings on top. Stubbe with a pull-up 18-footer, got it. He has 7 points. Prigge posting up inside against Andy Shane. It's a little more favorable matchup for South. Ruby almost could have got called for a travel on that. Takes it down the lane, dish off to Prigge, and he's fouled. I think Matt Hemsing will get called for that foul. Nope, they're going to get Andy Shane. And they both got a pretty good whack on Prigge.
I think Hemsing thought he got all ball, but good ball fake there by Prigge. As I said, North just trying to survive here. South has got to make hay with the starters on the bench. Andy Lancer, good ball player.
North has only made 3 out of 8 free throws, and the guy that's made all the free throws is on the bench, Tetschlag. A good shot of Peter. Breaks the ice. It's 17-15, South on top. Hemsing running the point guard spot with Stubbe on the bench. Mike Weber in the ball game, number 33 for the Red Wings. You see Mike.
Ruby's going to get another foul. He doesn't be careful.
Well, he got him. He got the foul. It just wasn't called, and then they called the ball out of bounds.
He's out there whacking away up and down the floor.
Where did he learn his basketball? Over at Grant? Watching me play. Inside feed to Weber. Turnaround 8-footers off, no good. Shane kept it alive. Lancer got the rebound and put back. 4-point lead for South. Good hands by Andy Shane to keep the ball alive down on the other end. We're under 2 minutes. 19-15. South on top. It's a slow mover tonight. Ruby driving the lane, kisses it off the glass and in.
A little hot dog shot there that had a lot of relish and went in.
He has 5. Weber couldn't get it, but right over on top of it is Will Hartman.
And Gruby and Weber were interlocked there.
Yeah, and Weber was wide open underneath the basket, but they didn't spot him. Lancer, 12-footer off. Gruby with the rebound. North with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3-pointer. Gruby pull up 12-footers off. Lancer with a strong rebound. Hemsing has it. Trying to split the double team. We're under a minute. Andy Shane being guarded closely by Peter Prigge. And Trilling is on Hartman. Ooh, almost dragged the foot. Hemsing now has it, guarded by Fritsch. 30 seconds and counting. Good defense by Prigge to stop the drive by Shane. Weber's turnaround jumper is good. Mike Weber
keeps firing him up there. He's 1 for 3 now.
Ruby can't get it. Lancer with the rebound. Hemsing with 13 seconds left. Kicks it back to Weber. Ball is tipped out of bounds. Stubbe and Teller in. Hartman and Weber come out. Good couple minutes by Mike Weber.
You got that right.
Well, he didn't catch that one at half court, but South didn't lose the possession. Lancer can't get the short one to go, and then he's going to get called for an over-the-back foul. There's a case where a nice, little 8-footer kills you.
Yep.
You should have had 2, and now you're going to give the other team a couple of free throws. And I don't know if you can hear that on from down here at the Armory, but the South High student body is not behaving themselves. Herman will be on the line. Shooting. That was a 9th team foul on South. Herman will need to make this free throw to get the second. Teller with the rebound. 3, 2, 1, and that's the half. South doing a bang-up job controlling the pace. Leads it at halftime, 21-17.
All over America, we're no longer just sedentary, we're stationary. And that's bad news for your bones, because bones need weight-bearing activity to grow strong and stay strong. So get up, get out, get moving. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Never heard a word I say.
Thank you.
Fat and cholesterol, they could ruin your appetite forever. Tonight, make it vegetarian. Visit PCRM.org.
Anyone can get burnt. Cover up and wear a condom. Stop the spread of AIDS.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
In these turbulent times, let us not erode the liberties our country was built on.
Let it shine.
The digital divide is the distance we allow between those who have the power of information and those who don't. In AmeriCorps, we're working to bridge that gap so that all of us can get to a better place. We're going around the world, on the web. In AmeriCorps, it's not can you make a difference, it's where. It's your world. It's your chance to make it better.
Having twins can be a handful.
Buy one, get one free.
So when I decided to go back to school, I needed to find one that fit our lifestyle. Lakeland College was the perfect place. They offer an easy-to-manage schedule and counselors to help me anytime. Evening classes at Lakeland don't tie our life in knots.
Ever consider a double major?
I'm a sophomore in college this year. Man, if you had known me when I was a sophomore in high school, nobody could tell me anything. I gave all my teachers a bad time. They all gave up on me, except my English teacher.
8 years teaching high school English, 10 years in recovery for alcohol addiction.
To be or not to be?
I got help.
That's it right there.
When you get help, who knows just who you'll help along the way.
For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
We're at halftime where the Sheboygan South Red Wings lead North 21-17. Let's go through the scoring for South High. They had 7 different players score, 9 of them played. Tim Stubbe led all scorers in the first half with 7 points. Eric Donovan had 4, and then chipping in with 2 each were Danny Teller, Will Hartman, Mike Weber, Andy Lancer, and BJ Harry. So varied contributions throughout the South High roster. For North, they played 10 players, and of those 10, 6 of them scored. They had Trevor Gruby with 5. He scored 5 late in the first half, hit a 3 and then a 2 on a drive to the basket. Scoring 5 early to tie in the lead for North scoring was Kyle Tetchlog. And then chipping in with 2 each were Rob Kane, Peter Worth, and Brian Herman. And rounding out the scoring for the Raiders was Peter Prigge with 1. Chris, why is South in the lead?
Well, I think what they did is they controlled tempo and basically got everything that they wanted there. They got North into foul trouble. Couple things here.
Your job's in jeopardy, Brian.
I was just going to say a couple things I was noticing at halftime. Number one, North averages 15 threes per game. They've only got 2 so far. They average 64 points a game.
By that you mean attempts, correct?
Right. They only have attempted 2 so far. 64 points a game. They're nowhere near that. On the other hand, for South played extremely well, but they're only up 4, which
they had some opportunities that they didn't capitalize on, and that could hurt them later in the game. Another thing that did hurt North, they only hit 4 out of 10 free throws. For South, it was a bonus. They hit on 6 of 7. And we're off and running. Tetchlog back in. Once he picked up his second foul, he didn't play the rest of the half, so actually North, in that respect, has to feel pretty good about themselves. Pitch driving to the hoop, lays it up and in.
As I mentioned this year, I like when Nate Pitch drives to the basket. And all the players for North, when they stand around, they struggle.
Ruby on Tim Stubbe. Donovan lost it off of his foot, saved by Will Hartman. Again, South pulling it out. Herman guarding Hartman underneath. Hemsing looking to get it to Harry. Tetchlog playing the tough D on the inside, and then Donovan lost it, and Worth has it. Bounce pass into Herman. Got it. And they're going to call a foul on Will Hartman, a blocking foul. Bad turn of events for Sheboygan South. Great turn of events if you're a Northsider.
I'll tell you, North's got 2 shot attempts already, and they only had 12. They only had 12 in the whole first half. Timeout South.
Full timeout by Sheboygan South. We'll take a timeout also with 6:53 remaining in the third quarter. We're all tied at 21.
I'm open! Shoot it, Cassie! Shoot it!
There's a better way to have fun with history.
It's okay, Amelia.
Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
On 3. 1.
One of these full timeouts, we're going to have to keep it here so Carrie Kautzer can get that cheerleading squad from South. They're pretty acrobatic when they're out on the court. We had a game earlier in the year, Chris, over at South. I think it was that West game real early in the season, and Coach Koopman, did everything he could to stem the tide. It didn't work against West. I sense the same thing here in the third quarter, calling this early timeout.
Remind the boys what got you here. Got you to lead in the first half, and don't go away from that.
Herman missed it. Tetchlaw got it back. He puts it up, and there's a foul underneath. I think they're going to get B.J. Harry. They are. And bad turn of events again for South as Harry picks up his third foul.
I was wondering who's going to get the third foul first. There's a good shot of B.J. Who's going to be B.J. or Kyle. Kyle now one-ups him and gives North the lead. 5 points in a minute took them, and that's a lot of scoring for North after that struggle early.
Really.
South did a nice job of taking care of the basketball. Just 4 turnovers in the game so far.
That's the first lead by South.
Make it
by North. Worth with the steal. Lays it up, but he can't get it to goal, and then he's fouled. Matt Hemsink committing the foul. Well, they got the double team near half court, and South didn't handle it very well that time. Since the foul happened prior to the shot, there will be no free throws. Teller coming in. Will Hartman will come out. Cross-court pass. Worth puts it up and in on a feed from Herman. Good ball movement by the Raiders. Teller had B.J. Harry open underneath for just a second, but didn't catch him right away. Donovan looking to go one-on-one. Teller's short shot is no good. Good ball movement by South, but not able to hit the shot. They had a couple of those early in the ball game, Chris, where they did a little bit of penetrating and pitching and getting guys open for short jumpers, but not able to hit them.
Nope. First 2 minutes have been just outstanding for North.
Tetchlaw looking for the back cut, but South read it well and stole the pass. Stubbe on a feed to Harry. He puts it in. That's the old penetrating pitch that we talk about every once in a while.
If you're going to feed it to a guy, that's the guy to do it.
Yeah, really.
The big fella.
Of course, you and I were both looking for the flush. You don't know what the flush is, that's a dunk. Donovan stealing it, wants to go to the basket and does, and lays it up and in.
Good athletic move again by Donovan. I keep saying that word athletic with Eric.
Pitch has it. We're all tied at 25. Gruby broke loose but couldn't get the layup in. And then there's a foul underneath. Hemsing's going to get tagged with the foul. That's his second foul.
KT making his presence known here. Very active on the glass.
Well, I thought we made a point right before we started the second half that North has to feel pretty good about him playing so little and only being down 4.
Thought Andy Lancer played some nice minutes at the end of that first half.
Yes, he did.
And here he's being rewarded with right away early substitution.
Lancer and Hartman coming in.
3 rebounds and a bucket for Andy.
Petchlog's 2 free throws make it 27-25 North. North very active on the press. And Hemsing dragging the feet, or the foot. How many turnovers did South have in the first half, Chris?
4.
And they've got at least 2 already this half.
3.
So
total
Worth.
change.
Lean in, no good. And then he's going to get called for an over the back. There's another case where a missed basket costs the foul. Peter Worth picks up his 3rd. We're not even halfway through the 3rd quarter. Andy Shane comes in. Matt Hemsing coming out. Matt has 2 fouls. Pretty dejected on the bench, Chris. Hartman right down Main Street. Saw Tetchlog back underneath the basket. I'd stop too. Lancer trying to get post position, but Tetchlog being very tough in there. Pull-up jump shot by Stubbe is no good. Worth comes away with it. Jump shot by Peter is no good. And then Andy Shane gets fouled, and that might be on Peter Worth. No. North caught a bit of a break, Chris. I thought Peter Worth committed the foul, but they're going to give it to Trevor Gruby. Waiting to come in is Cody Schaefer. Got him out just in time. He almost picked up his 4th foul. I'd like to see a replay of that. North playing the man-to-man defense. South trying to be patient. Stubbe from way outside the line can't get it. Herman with the rebound.
Tim's got to keep shooting those. That one wasn't his best attempt, but
Trevor Gruby on a nice drive to the hoop, but again, North not able to get the layup. Schaefer's shot is way off. And then they're going to call it off a Tetchlog. South will get the possession. North leads it, it's 27-25. BJ Harry coming back, Andy Lancer coming out. South could have a huge height advantage with Lancer and Harry in the ball game.
Yep, that'd be something we should look for.
Andy Shane, he's fouled. Tetchlog not bashful about knocking that ball away, but he missed it. Got Shane. You're shaking your head, Chris.
Not a good foul there by Kyle. And that's
who was that in the first half? In the first game, Whitney Hare, on the block attempt, following through with her arm, just like Tetchlog did there. South continues to shoot their free throws well. Well, North's been making money at the line this half. Tetchlog is 4 for 4. So they've made 4 out of 5 so far. Those are Andy Shane's first points of the game, and we're all tied up at 27 with under 3.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Give and go. Worth got it. No, they're going to call him on a charge. So Peter Worth comes in, plays about 7 seconds, and picks up his 4th foul. Tetchlog is going to come right back in. making some notes. Thank you.
I don't know if I'd bring Kyle back here. You already got one guy with 4, and there's a lot of time left in this game.
Initially, South had a little trouble getting the ball in, but once they got the ball in bounds, they broke the press with ease. Tetchlog and Harry fist squaring off against each other. Donovan throws it in the backcourt. And Andy Shane diving for the ball. I think what he was trying to do is keep Gruby from getting the possession and the layup. And he did that.
Well, that time Donovan just too much dribbling. Well, I thought he was going to drive and then kick it, and then he kept dribbling, and then
that's called dribbling without a purpose. And,
he went the wrong way and pitched one out, and it went to nowhere.
Fritsch comes in for Trevor Gruby.
So he had some good minutes too in the first half, coming off the bench. As you mentioned, 19 players played in the first half.
Yep, 10 for North and 9 for South. Pitch gets away with a push-off and got the basket. A leap and leaner. Donovan inside feed to Shane, over to Harry, and he lost it out of bounds.
Just lost it.
Yep. Good work by South. You get the ball inside.
Got what you wanted, and that's almost an automatic 2. Let's see if North counters, and instead of a tie, they get a 4 or 5 point lead.
Right now they're up 2. It's 29-27. We're under 2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Mike Martin along with Chris Wright bringing you the ball game. Kane from outside the line. It rims off. Stubbe had it and then had it tipped away. Kyle Tetchlog knocking it out of Tim Stubbe's hands. Hemsing and Teller coming in. And Harry and Donovan come out. Herman guarding Hemsing. And Stubbe doing the right thing there, Chris. It looked like they could have rushed it across the line. Instead, he pulled it back. Tim Stubbe with a nice layup attempt, but couldn't get it down.
Very nice attempt.
North on the breakout, but South quick to get back.
2 good chances for South there to cut the deficit or take the lead. Instead, they still trail by 2.
Tetchlog looking to get inside position, but Teller playing the strong defense inside as the ball goes out of bounds. Armory is packed tonight. Not many open seats.
Nope, the upper levels are definitely full.
That's good for TV8. Pitch has it out on top. Looking to get it inside to Tetchlog, but Harry's all over him. And then Pitch throws it in the backcourt, and Stubbe not able to save it.
What a break.
Break for North, you're right.
That was a turnover. Stubbe just wanted to hustle to get the layup, and unfortunately couldn't get a handle on it, and instead he knocks it out of bounds. A third chance for them, an easy chance, because again,
they had a couple of those in the first half too.
Well, that's 3 in a row. They had a Harry miss, Stubbe layup miss, and there could have been a breakaway.
Tetchlog lean in, no good. Ball goes off of Danny Teller, and again North with actually a layup attempt, and they can't get it in.
It's kind of like a boxing match. A lot of body punches. They're just kind of waiting for the late rounds to decide it here.
Yeah, really.
You could just feel they're just waiting to get. Let's just get to the fourth quarter and then figure out the winner. Let's go to 3 minutes left. I think it's going to go right down to the wire, Marty.
Tetchlog inside. Gruby's shot was blocked, but he was able to get control of it and throw it up. And then it sails out of bounds off of a North player.
Gruby has 6 2 attempts and just 2 3 attempts. You don't hear that.
No, not very often. Gruby. You're right. Right back to Stubbe. He's being hounded by Gruby. Gruby reaching in.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah, well, whenever you watch North, you see that a lot.
Well,
that's not special to tonight. Stubbe getting in front of Gruby on the breaking of the press. Andy Shane had it for a second. Now South slowing it up. They're down 2 or under a minute left in the third quarter. And to be real honest, neither team has played particularly well here.
Not in the third quarter, and South holding it for 1, but you want to get a 5-second call or a turnover. It's hard to hold the ball against good pressure D. Just running a little weave. There's your foul.
And Pitch commits the foul. That's going to be his third. That's the 5th foul of the half for North.
That's one of those kind of silly fouls too, because it's way out by mid-court.
Right.
And it doesn't hurt you now, but in the fourth quarter, you're going to be to the bonus earlier.
Those are the kind of fouls you want to commit late in the fourth quarter when you go for a steal, because it doesn't cost you any free throws.
See what they have set up for the last 10 seconds, Marty.
Yep. Hemsing has it on top. Stubbe open for a second, got it off, but it's no good. Tetchlog with the rebound. His shot is off before the buzzer, but it's no good. We're at the end of 3 quarters of play. North now leads it, but only by 2, 29-27.
Noise. There's more of it in your life than you think. Everyday sounds, from household appliances to traffic. Even a crowded restaurant can hit 85 decibels. That's the level audiologists know can cause permanent hearing loss. So keep an eye on your ears and visit ASHA.org, the American Speech Language Hearing Association.
When I was young, my dad always told me, dream big and dream often.
I've been very fortunate to have parents that care, but some kids aren't so lucky.
That's why the Major League Baseball players trust for children.
Same with Volunteers of America, to help kids everywhere.
Volunteers of America has helped children, families, and many others rebuild their lives.
Our Share with a Child partnership wants you to give kids your time, guidance, and support.
Help a kid to dream big. Call 1-800-899-0089.
Well, not a good quarter of basketball for South, at least from a standpoint of points scored. They only got 6 in the quarter. North got 12, and they lead it as we enter fourth quarter play, 29-27. South with the first possession.
They were just 2 of 9 shooting, Marty. There's that Gruby foul.
He doesn't have too much to complain about, because there are at least a couple others that weren't called. But that is the 6th team foul on North. The next one will put South at the line.
For the game, I have South 9 for 29 and North 9 for 24. So
not good shooting tonight by either squad.
Or it's just good defense. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you got to get the ball up much higher than that. Rob Kane, leap and leaner again. A layup attempt by North is no good. South with the rebound. Schaefer trying to steal it, can't. Donovan has it on top, being guarded by Gruby. Kick out. Hartman trying to shoot the shot over Herman, but Herman with a two-handed block, but he's going to get called for the foul. Well, Hartman's a good leaper, but so is Herman. Gonna have a timeout by North. It's a full timeout. North still leads at 29-27. We're at 7:19 remaining in the ball game. We'll be right back.
There's a new experience around every corner as you discover Wisconsin. Discover Wisconsin like you've never seen before.
Just a little bit late to see those South High cheerleaders. You see some of the North High faithful. A lot of props tonight, Chris. The spaghetti spirit sticks and
yep. They got their
construction hats.
Yep, it's workman type attitude is what it is.
And we got that addition built on to Jefferson. All the kids got these little yellow hats. It said, what did it say? I don't know. I put something on there now. It says hard head instead of hard hat. Although I must admit I haven't made any students wear it. But there's a whole bunch that could have. Hartman nails a couple of free throws. He has 4 points in the game. He's 4 for 4 from the line, and we're all tied up with 7:15 remaining.
Clutch free throws by the man.
The man.
Worst coming in with 4 fouls, 7-minute mark.
Hartman with a steal, but he's going to get tagged with a foul, I believe. Either that or Herman's going to get it.
Herman's going to get it, I think, and you know what? That's 3 quick fouls, Marty, in the first minute here against North, and as I said, that foul by Pitch, got him to the bonus earlier, and here,
right, yeah,
here the man's right up there again, shooting free throws at the line, not making baskets, but gonna have at least chances at the free throw line.
7:04 remaining. South will now be at the line every North foul. Ooh, a little violation there by Hemsing, not called. There's a rule that states you have to be outside the three-point line when the shooter gets the ball, and I think Brian was Matt Hemsing was just inside the line as Hartman got it, but they didn't call it. Hartman makes a couple of free throws, and now South is up again, this time by 2.
They got the good start in the quarter.
Outside the line, Gruby's shot is no good. Matt Hemsing with the rebound. Long lead feed to Stubbe, and he makes a good save.
Good decision by Hemsing there. Take care of the ball and slow it down.
Andy Shane leaning in, no good. I think he's going to get called for the charge. Yes, he is.
I liked what he did there, Marty, going at the basket there, but he did draw a charge. I thought that was the right thing to do, and didn't work out for him. I wouldn't be afraid to do that again. Most times you're going to get that call.
Dan Koopman wants the official's attention, but he's not getting it.
Well, I think Coach Koopman agrees with me. Most of the time, the offensive player is going to get that call.
You got to give Tetchlog credit. He did a good job of standing in there. South on top.
Kyle does take a lot of charges.
Inside to Tetchlog. His shot is off, no good. Perry's going to get called for the foul. That'll be his 4th. Well, Tetchlog is
uses it at good footwork, that speed in there, Marty.
He's got 9 points.
Quiet 9.
You're exactly right.
And Mike, his sister, can make the free throws.
KT with a chance to tie up the ball game. He does. With 6:17, we're all tied at 31. Kick it out to Shane. He's open from the corner, and he's got a 3.
Well, he can make that shot. He's left open, and he banged it home.
And good penetration by Tim Stubbe to set him up.
No question. You have to stop the ball first, and that's why Shane was open.
Ruby taking it hard to the basket, but I'll tell you, taking the charge that time was Matt Hemsing, and he did a good job of that.
Outstanding job. And the student section for the Red Wings are up and fired up. 3-point lead and the ball.
Now, some of the fans may not understand, because we said every foul on North, you would result in a South free throws. Well, not on a player control foul like that one. I just want to clarify that.
Now the North side fans not making the best verbal communication to the officials.
Not making the best choice.
No.
Oh, Hemsing might have got away with a walk.
Live hands by North.
Yeah.
Easy bucket chance.
Andy Shane got it. Those are the shots that North has not been making tonight.
Right before this, Coach Desautel was going to ask for a timeout, and he decided not to. It turned out good for South because they got the mo now.
Andy Lancer is going to get called for a pushing foul prior to the shot by Tetschlag. Lancer commits his second foul. That's only the 6th. Oh, pardon me, I got it as a 7th foul. Tetschlag will be at the line shooting. South with a big 5-point lead, 36-31.
Emphasis on big when it's a low-scoring game. You're right. 5 is almost like 7 or 8. Kyle cuts it into that.
We get a good shot of Tom Desatel. And Tetschlag misses his first free throw of the night. South with the rebound. 36-32. We're at the 5:20 mark of the ball game. Stubbe going hard, pulls up with a 10-footer and got it. Stubbe with 9 points.
South Red Wings really feeling it. Shane, now Stubbe.
Well, they're confident in this portion of the game. They haven't been other years. Gruby's shot is no good. Tetschlag and Herman fighting for the rebound, and they knock it away from each other. South will have it.
I thought that's a real good point was made by Coach Desatel today in the paper. He said, you know what, in close games, these South athletes who participate in the football team know how to win, and they can feel the confidence because they know how to be winners.
Lancer was wide open, but made a good choice not to shoot it. And then he gets bumped on his way to the basket.
Could be on 25.
No. Gonna get Kyle Tetschlag, and for Tetschlag, that's his 4th. And we still have 4:49 remaining.
Again, Coach Desatel thinking about timeouts. You know the mind's thinking here, but they're going to play on. It's getting a little bit away. I don't know if I'd be saving them much more.
I will say this, too, with having 2 free throw attempts, Lancers has a little less pressure on him to make a free throw. Timeout for North. It's a 30-second timeout.
I think it's a good one, too. I was wondering if he was going to call one, Marty. It's starting to get away. 7-point lead. Your 2 big offensive threats have 4 fouls. You can't take them out.
South hasn't scored a whole lot of baskets in this second half. They only have 5, but I'll tell you what they have done is they've made their free throws. If Lancer makes this free throw, South is 100%, 8 for 8 in this second half, and they were 6 for 7 in the first half.
Well, the other key, Marty, is they've hit them all here in the quarter. I mean, in a close game, back and forth, poor shooting. Which team got hot first? And it was South, and they're carrying that momentum. Andy Shane and Tim Stubbe. And now Andy Lancer at the free throw line, extending this lead.
Lancer pretty from the line. It's 40-32. South up by 8.
Clutch for their sophomore.
Worth dishes it out to Pitch. Shot is off. Another layup attempt is no good, but Tetschlag rebounds and puts it back. 40-34. South up 6. Under 4.5 minutes remaining in a ball game. Stubbe splits the double team with a pass to Hempsing. And South wants a timeout. I've got Ed, it's South's fourth timeout. It's a full timeout with 4:18 remaining. South is on top, 40-34.
Feeling motivated to lose weight? Considering a high-protein diet, like those meat-heavy diets you've read about? First, you should know there are health risks, like osteoporosis and kidney disorders, and maybe even colon cancer. Before you start a fad diet, think. You've got more to lose than weight. To learn more, visit www.safediets.org, a project of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine.
We'll see a lot of happy South High fans as their team leads. I would have to say unexpectedly, 40-34, but we got a lot of basketball to be played, Chris.
They got him on the ropes. So that's a boxing match. Exchanging blows in the third quarter. We just set it up for this finals situation here. So far, I'd say the first half of the rounds here going to South, hitting those tough free throws and making them tough shots. Now you got the ball and a nice 6-point lead. You got half the quarter to go.
Stubbe has it. He's pulling it back. South wants to continue this slowdown pace, which has been very nice for them. Hartman's shot is blocked. Got it down in the land of the Giants and couldn't get it over Tetschlag. Worth's shot is up and in, and it's going to count, and he's fouled.
Not exactly what you want of your Coach Koopman. You call the timeout, get yourself in a tough situation driving. Now you give up a 3-point play.
Andy Shane, I believe, picked up that foul. I hate to harp on this point, but you know, these are where free throws are very important. Tetschlag's done a great job all night with his free throw shooting. The rest of the North squad is not. Matter of fact, that's the first free throw by a player other than Tetschlag.
Down to a one-possession game, though. That was a big 3-point play by Peter Worth.
40-37, South on top. Hemsing caught a little bit no man's land, and then Brian Herman, a little bit out of control, falls over Stubbe and commits what's going to be his 4th foul.
Well, now the 3 juggernauts of North have 4 fouls.
That'd be Worth, Herman, and Tetschlag.
And here we go, Marty, back to that free throw line.
He had a good shot at Tim Stubbe. It's nice that these football players play some basketball because you never get to see their face hardly with the helmets on all the time.
And they're all pretty good looking kids.
Yeah, not bad.
You can just feel the electricity in here because it's so close and tight and just the way we want it.
Yeah, exactly. These are fun games to call.
That was in.
Out.
That baby was in.
Worth has it.
Got 2 situations here. North doesn't have to rush, and South can't just hold the ball, so.
Worth trying to force the action, but South playing a tough defense. Ruby going hard to the basket. His shot is blocked by B.J. Harry. And the official talking to Harry and Tetschlag. I don't know what that's about.
Well, they were kind of interlocked discussing science laboratory ideas, so they decided to have a discussion with him.
Tetschlag leaning in, got away with an offensive foul, puts it up and in.
Somebody might have gotten their 5th foul there.
Yeah.
Instead, neither did.
41-39. And a foul on Worth, and that'll be number 5.
That's interesting. One guy gets knocked down and a little touch foul, and you're done. And that's a very important loss for Sheboygan North.
That's a tough one. And South will go to the line, shooting a pair with an opportunity to expand their 2-point lead up to 4, Chris. Worth finishes with 7 points. You know, the other games that we've had with North at North High, he's been a much bigger factor in the game. Tonight, he's really not been much of a factor. I don't remember him getting a lot of rebounds. I may be wrong. 5, that's not too bad.
6 of them.
Hartman will be at the line. He'll get 2 throws.
Wow, big free throws for the South guys.
High Archer. Hartman has 7 points, all from the line. He likes to get down there in the land of the Giants.
Another one. The
4-point lead. The man nailing him from the free throw line. I bet he tells you it's more fun to knock down a quarterback, though.
I would think so.
Although in a North-South basketball game, maybe not. Again, South, good help defense. They get it inside to Tetschlag and Harry. That was a real bad foul by B.J. Harry. Reaching over the back. No, they're getting it on Will Hartman. Wow. Big break by the Southsiders not to get hairy with his 5th foul.
We both must have seen something else.
Really?
Again, Andy Lancer now coming in for Harry. I think, like I said, he's done a real nice job filling in. Coach Koopman just wants to remind him, you know, you have 4 fouls. It'd be better if you're in the game than out.
I think what Lancer brings to the table is a little more physicalness, you know, to his inside play. Pitch, tried to tip it back, but Andy Shane got it. Where B.J. Harry offers a little more athleticism underneath the basket. South with the ball and a 4-point lead. Stubbe trying to set up the offense. They leave Shane alone, and he's got another 3-pointer. He has 8 points, 10 in the game, 8 in the 4th quarter. Tetschlag with a lean-in basket.
Wow, Andy Shane clutch. Kyle coming right back. I think the next foul you'll be double bonus, won't you?
They're already there.
Okay, good decision by Will.
South pulling it out with a 5-point lead. We're running down to 2 minutes left in the ball game. Hartman making a good decision to relieve pressure, getting it in the middle.
Good call there, Marty, exactly.
Oh, bad pass. Stubbe claims he was fouled. No call. Trevor Gruby leaning in. Got it.
His first basket, Marty, of the half.
46-43. We're at 1:35 and counting. Stubbe gets the pass across the 10-second line. Again, Hartman is fouled by Tetschlag, and that will. I don't think he had to reach in, Chris, because there's no way Hartman's going to shoot the ball over Tetschlag. Tetschlag falls out at the 1:23 mark of the ball game. Tetschlag finishes with 18 points,
5 rebounds.
And I got a couple of free throws marked here that I didn't fill in. He didn't shoot any free throws down there. Maybe ask, see if Pete can ask Sandy Bull what Tetschlag finished with points. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Chris, because I've got the proper score. I don't think he missed 2 free throws. I inadvertently put those down.
Well, Will Hartman's been just clutch at the free throw line. This is where it's got to happen. North now without their 2 leading scorers. Next on the list with 10 points a game will be Trevor Gruby. So we'll
Am I going to make anybody mad if I tell how many free throws he's made in a row?
I wouldn't say anything right now.
Well, it's at 10.
He's the man.
48-43.
An even dime.
South hounding the Raiders, and a little turnaround of events here with the defense.
Yeah, who is going to score now for North is the question. You got to spring guys open, or you got to get to the basket. That's what you need to do.
Pitch on the drive and the dish off, but a foul is called before. Foul goes on Matt Hempsing. That's his 3rd. I've got that as being the 10th foul by South, so North now will be in the double bonus.
Pitch just an over 50% free throw shooter as well.
Got that one in. Nate has 5 points, all in the second half. It's 48-44, 1:03 remaining. And South playing an outstanding ball game tonight. A free throw miss. Perry with the big rebound. Stubbe being hounded by Schaefer. BJ with the good hands, and then he throws it away.
Big possession for North.
Gruby's open. To Gruby, he's got the opening, but he can't get it in. Tapped away, and they're going to get Herman on the foul, and guess who's going to be going to the line for South?
And guess who's done again? The number 3 man on the team.
Brian Herman picking up his 5th foul. And Will, the man Hartman, will be at the line shooting 2. 43 seconds remaining. South on top, 48-44. And this is a shocker.
It must be a full timeout, Marty.
No, I think they're going to send somebody in there. You see the touch logs. Soxies. Coming in for North is Brad Schmitz. Hartman will be at the line.
Brad's more of a penetrated driver. Slasher. Pretty good free throw shooter. Well, one more would make it a 2-possession game. That's right, Bill. Hey, you make this one here. We're up by 2 and a 3. They need a 2 and a 3 or 3 2s. So big one here.
You got that one. Hit 11 out of 12. Nothing wrong with that percentage. Gruby. Pitch, looking to drive. Goes over Harry for 2. And a timeout. North.
Interesting.
With the score 49-46 and only 28 seconds remaining. North calls a full timeout. Let's keep it right here for this timeout.
I think that North is out of timeouts.
I lost track, obviously, and there you see the South cheering squad, things we've talked about throughout the game about their activity, but I'll tell you, Sheboygan, they're rewinding the clock, Chris. It was down to 28 seconds. I think they're going to put time back on because North called the timeout. The message wasn't relayed to the table, so they're going to get a few more seconds. Obviously, South needs to handle the ball.
Well, they got to break the press. I think North's out of timeout, so you could tell your guys right here that you don't have to inbound under 5 seconds. There's Gary Kautzer. Under 5 seconds, you don't have to, bring it in. Make some free throws. We're in. They're going to foul you, so be strong with the ball. Know the situation on the board, when you're at the free throw line and not allowing 3s or 2s. North also has plenty of time. They don't necessarily have to go for a 3. They can get a 2 right away and then foul. There's a lot of things to discuss out there. It's just a matter of who's going to execute.
Chris, I don't think it's going to be a matter of breaking the press. I think it's going to be more a matter of getting the ball in bounds because I don't think they're going to have a chance to beat the press. They'll get fouled first.
And I was just thinking, as you said.
By the way, they reset it at 30 seconds.
They've done an outstanding job breaking the press tonight, Marty. Outstanding. There's been no big runs on quick steals and buckets by Sheboygan North tonight.
And good move by South. They send Hemsink to half court to screen for Hartman, and he took the inbounds pass, and he's the one that got fouled.
Outstanding call there by Coach Koopman, and that's the kind of stuff. Get the guy up there that's making them, my gosh, and great decision there by Sheboygan South. Get the guy that's hot at the line.
Well, they need at least one to make it a 2-possession game. Right now, a 3-pointer ties it. It's 49-46. 28 seconds remain. Hartman with a friendly roll, got it in. He's 12 out of 13 on the night. All of his points coming from the free throw line.
And one of the things, if you're North, you got to say, don't foul that guy.
Really.
Stay on him. As soon as they give it to somebody else, foul them. Because he's just been red hot.
Out. Pitch with the rebound. 4-point game, 23-22. Shot by Gruby is no good. And then South threw it away. Gruby again, no good, but a foul is called.
That could have been huge. Fouled on a 3-point attempt.
Well, it all started when the shot was missed and B.J. Harry didn't make a good outlet pass to his teammate. It allowed North to get the possession back. Foul goes on Andy Shane, and Gruby will be at the line shooting 3.
He's one of their better free throw shooters, but he doesn't make it either. very important to get one, Marty, because that way you get a one-possession game because you can...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Finally, somebody else besides Tetchlog makes a free throw. The only other guy that's made a free throw in the entire game has been Nate Pitch, and that was here in the fourth quarter. And other players have had opportunities.
Okay, now what you can do is foul right away. You're down by 2, and you hope that South only makes 1 out of 2. Get a steal, that's even better. Great decision by Tim Stubbe.
Well, North was all over Hartman that time, not allowing him to get the inbounds pass. That's a full timeout. We're going to catch our breath with 13 seconds remaining at South 50, North 48.
Spread the word.
There's 2 guys saying this is what has to be done for us to win. They're going to throw it to one of the guys in the white shirts, and he's going to hit a 3-pointer, and we're going to go out as victors. These guys over on this side say, well, we're going to get it to a guy, we're going to foul, we're going to get 2 free throws, game's going to be over.
I was just figuring out the free throw shooting. South has made 15 out of 18 so far in the second half, 21 out of 25 for the game.
Outstanding.
North has done pretty good here in the second half, making 11 out of 15. Hartman has it, and a foul. Well, a couple of free throws here would be real huge.
Well, basically what happens here, Marty, he makes 2. North can hit a 3, and you don't even have to inbound because it's going to take, they're going to be under 5 seconds probably.
And you said you don't think North has any timeouts?
I don't think they do. So it's coming down to North has to know the situation right here. We need a 2 or a 3. Number 1, they got to get the rebound. Now North needs a 3.
Nothing but the bottom of the net. 10. 7. Ruby's shot is no good. South chases it down. Throws it out.
South's going to win.
South a winner, 51-48. Pandemonium at the Armory. And a shocker here at the Armory. Sheboygan South has upset Sheboygan North 51-48. And there's still a lot of celebrating on the court. I don't know when Chris is going to get any players to interview, but I'm sure he'll be able to get a couple. For Dan Koopman, that was his first victory over Tom Desatel and Deso's North High Raiders. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, hopefully we'll have some interviews for you. If not, I'll run through the scoring, and after that we'll get the interviews.
little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
In these turbulent times, let us not erode the liberties our country was built on.
Let it shine.
The digital divide is the distance we allow between those who have the power of information and those who don't. In AmeriCorps, we're working to bridge that gap so that all of us can get to a better place. We're going around the world, on the web. In AmeriCorps, it's not can you make a difference, it's where. It's your world. It's your chance to make it better.
Having twins can be a handful.
Buy one, get one free.
So when I decided to go back to school, I needed to find one that fit our lifestyle. Lakeland College was the perfect place. They offer an easy-to-manage schedule and counselors to help me anytime. Evening classes at Lakeland don't tie our life in knots.
Ever consider a double major?
I'm a sophomore in college this year. Man, if you had known me when I was a sophomore in high school, nobody could tell me anything. I gave all my teachers a bad time. They all gave up on me, except my English teacher.
8 years teaching high school English, 10 years in recovery for alcohol addiction.
To be or not to be?
I got help.
That's it right there.
When you get help, who knows just who you'll help along the way.
For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
I'm open! Shoot it, Cassie! Shoot it!
There's a better way to have fun with history.
It's okay, Amelia.
Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
On 3. 1.
Noise. There's more of it in your life than you think. Everyday sounds from household appliances to traffic. Even a crowded restaurant can hit 85 decibels. That's the level audiologists know can cause permanent hearing loss. So keep an eye on your ears and visit ASHA.org, the American Speech Language Hearing Association.
We're back at the Armory where Sheboygan South has defeated North by a score of 51-48. Let's go through the scoring for the South High Red Wings. Tim Stubbe had 10 points, Eric Donoval 6, Andy Shane had 10 points, Danny Teller had 2, Will Hartman led all North scorers with 13, Mike Weber had 2, Andy Lancer and BJ Harry each chipped in with 4 points. That leaves South with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players who scored. We'll go through the North High scorers after a little bit. Standing by on the floor is a smiling Chris White with a couple of smiling South High Red Wings. Take it away, Chris.
Hey, 2 happy Red Wings. Tim, is it the new uniforms?
I don't know. It's a surprise. I don't know what to say, man. We just had a good game, played tough, and came out with a victory.
Right from the get-go, I thought Coach Koopman had you guys with a plan, and you guys believed in it, and you worked it.
The only plan we had was to come out in the first quarter and get an early lead. We knew the last 8 years we always came out slow in the first quarter, came down by 8, 10, and we played with them with the last 3 quarters. And we knew if we came out in the first quarter, that if it was a close game in the first quarter, we were going to have a good game at the end of it.
Absolutely, no question, Tim. You hit it right on the head. You guys got an early lead, and you got some guys for them in the foul trouble, and you took care of the ball. And you hitting that 3 right away, you could just see the confidence by your teammates starting to go.
Right, we just wanted to score first. That was our main goal. And I knew myself, I just wanted to get going first, get an early bucket to get my game going. And after that, I was going to set up my teammates and go on from there.
Another thing I thought you did very well tonight was you guys really took care of the press. I don't think North created too much pressure. I thought you and Matt, some of the guys did a real nice job.
Right, we got good ball handlers, and we have good all-around players that are strong with the ball when they catch it, and we weren't pressured by it. We caught the ball. look down the court, and just pass it up.
Congratulations, good luck second half of the season. We'll see you in about a week or so. Hey, clutch free throws, buddy.
Yeah, it happens, you know.
I thought your team defensively too did an outstanding job. You really shut them down. Their percentages were low. I thought you really hankered down on their three-point shots. They didn't get a lot of shots off. Good team defense tonight.
Yeah, we really D'd up. We stressed that all week in practice, and we just really dug in with team effort, just help out on everyone, and we just hit the boards hard.
I thought that Coach Sessatel made a real good point in the paper today. He said, you know, one of the things you guys are winners from your football season and some of the other sports that did so well. You knew when you guys were ahead, you know, the confidence built, and you guys know you're winners. I thought that was a real nice compliment by him, and I could see it from you guys.
Yeah, we definitely don't like losing, let's put it that way. And when we get out there, we're just so competitive. Another drive just takes over, and we all just played as hard as we could. It was hard fought, both sides of the ball, physical, so.
Yeah, just pandemonium for the South Side must be great.
97 was the last time. It was just crazy. It was awesome.
Well, congratulations. Good luck second half of the season. Let's bring it back to Marty.
All right, let's finish out with the scoring for Sheboygan North. North was led by Kyle Tetchlog with 18 points. Following him was Trevor Groovy with 7. Trevor Groovy had 9. Peter Worth and Nate Pitch each had 7. Brian Herman had 4. Rob Kane had 2, and Peter Prigge rounded out the scoring with 1. For the ball game, South shot a tremendous 81% from the line, making 22 out of 27. North picked it up in the second half. They made 11 out of 15, and for the game, they made 15 out of 25 for 60%. So they didn't shoot the rock too bad in the second half, but South obviously a little too much tonight. They handled the press and made the free throws down the stretch when they had to. A great job by the crew, and a lot of kudos go out to them. They spent a long day not only covering the game tonight, but also setting up during the day. Our next broadcast will be next Friday, January 14th, when Green Bay Southwest invades North. That'll be a big game. North will want to get back on the winning track. Thanks for watching, everybody. For my partner, Chris Wright, I'm Mike Martin saying so long, everybody. We'll see you down the road, and Happy New Year.